looks like it's right at the full hot. Walk down there, just grab that compressor and then meet you over there to help get him out of the pit. This transmission has a leak. That bar that goes across the bottom there, that little cross member, it's set, apparently the bus is like sat down on something and bent it, and it's touching the trans. I don't know if it damaged it, but somebody has just put Permatex. They've smeared so much thick Permatex all over the bottom of this side of the transmission here. So I don't know why all this Permatex is on here like that. You know, I mean, they're trying to stop it from leaking, but is it coming from the filter housing? There's a filter, there's two filters here, one on each side there, but one side's leaking. But to see somebody have smeared that much Permatex on this, I just peeled off a big sheet of it. You can see where it used to be stuck at. It's just crazy to have that much Permatex on the bottom of something. So something's going on. I'm almost afraid to take that filter out of there because I know that those bolts for the filter housings can strip out, and maybe that's what's happened too. And then I'm getting into a whole other can of worms here. But that's not just paint, the transmission paint. That is an orange Permatex. It's real thick, rubbery, it's peeling off in sheets. There should be no clunking and moving here when he does this. Yeah, I hear just the tiny, you can almost feel it, but that's not bad.
It's not like a lot of the video. Nothing over here.
Yeah, that's tight. Wiggle it left and right a little bit.
Turning the whole thing.
Yeah. Let me go the other side while you do it. Do it again. One more time. Okay. Yeah, so this tie rod end's been getting grease. You can see all the buildup on it and everything, and that one is clean and rusty, which means whoever did the maintenance on it for the bus company, yeah, look at that. You ever see tie rod end like that? It's offset so far. Very unusual. There's the other side. Very freaky. Not too bad. Nasty color, but just a little bit. Okay, wiggle the shock. Wiggle it again. slip yoke on the drive shaft. I'll zoom in on it.
A big old void because there ain't no grease in it.
Yeah. See grease fittings that look brand new. Surprisingly, that end doesn't look bad, but yeah, the. Phew. Give it some blast, like three hammers on top, 3 hammers. Lots of sparkly coming out of the gear oil here on the drive axle. Here's a bunch of big metal chunks that came out of the rear end on it. So this came out of the differential when we drained it. We had a broken wheel stud when we took the wheels off. So we went ahead and took 3 of them out. And then the middle one is broken. You replaced the 2 next to it. So we're getting ready to press this one in here. And we just put this one in. We're using the Tiger Tool press for studs, and it works really nice on the disc brakes here. You got plenty of room to get things in there. But yeah, when you got one broken, one has been broken for a while, it was all rusty around there. We knocked them out with an air hammer. That was the easiest way to knock them out. We used the Chief there at Harbor Freight. We love that air hammer. I think it's great. It was easier than using the tool to knock it out. But these are left-handed threads that go on the driver's side of this Prevost. It's had some rust repairs. They welded on some like patch panels there. And same thing on there. They welded, not very good welding, but it seems to be solid. Same thing on the other side, but yeah, it's definitely had some rust under here, but they've gone and addressed it by putting a little skin new plate on there, and appears to be strong. Nearly there. It gets really tight. It looks like you're there. Okay. So this is the driver's side. These are all left-hand thread studs, but there's supposed to be an L in the end of the stud, but everything's painted over, so you can't see anything. But they were all left-hand thread like they were supposed to be. But over here on this side, which is the passenger side, these are supposed to be all right-handed threads. And again, all the studs are painted over so you can't see anything, and we're trying to take them off. And we had one lug nut there that we could not get off. And then Jonathan saw it turning. He's like, looks like it's tightening. And then we looked at the threads closely on it, and it was left-hand threads. So they had one left-hand thread stud over here on the right-hand side with all the rights. So they must have needed a stud, and they didn't have the right one, but they put the, it had the right lug nut on it, obviously. But because we definitely over-tightened it a little bit, and then we didn't want to put a left-handed back on here, so we pressed it out, and we were ordering a new one. And we're going to put a new right-hand thread one in here. But yeah, you couldn't tell on the lug nuts because these are supposed to say right as well. But because it's so painted over, you really couldn't notice it. But there was no reason to look for one, one oddball different direction. That's just messing with your mechanic there. That's asking for big trouble with a tire shop for sure. So the rotor on this side looks really good. There's no heat checking or anything. It's in very, very good shape. For front brakes on a big heavy Prevost disc brakes, that looks really good. It's been replaced, I can tell you that. This is the front rotor on the other side. It's got quite a bit of heat checking, but nothing really goes more than halfway the distance, and none of them are very large and deep, so I would just call that moderate heat check on there. That one's kind of a little bigger one there, but it's not very long. And the drive and the tag rotors all look really good. So it looks like the front's been doing more braking than anything else on here. We're gonna replace all these shocks for sure. The shocks are all crappy. We have an oil leak on the Series 60 we need to get to. It's above the air compressor, which is up in there, and below the alternator. Behind it there's an oil line that comes out and actually feeds the alternator. Feeds the air compressor for oil, and it goes into the block, and it's the fitting that goes into there. So we're gonna have to probably remove the alternator in order to get to that oil line to fix the leak on it. And then the oil pan gasket is leaking, so we're gonna order a new oil pan gasket for it. And then the filler tube, where the filler tube goes into the side of the block down here. There we go, you can see it's leaking from around there. So we're gonna order a new filler tube, the gasket where it goes into the block there. This is by far one of the youngest buses to come in here. We only had less than 10 probably that are newer than this one. It's H341, 1997. That is not good. The impact shouldn't struggle the whole way to get them out. Like that, break it loose and come out. Two more in there still. Pretty well stuck.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty well stuck in there.
Yeah.
That's fine. Be curious if this axle shaft has that same type of line in it as the other one.
No. I don't feel it anyway.
No, I don't see it either. So you kind of see the lines here and here where something was like squeezed, and then there's these little, let's see if I can get on video. Like some kind of a casting line or something. It's 180 degrees out on both sides. Just never seen that before. Seems to me like that'd be a weak point. It's even skinnier. I ordered a new set of wrenches off of Amazon. Try these out. They're stubbies, SAE. So they're shorter than my regular stubbies, and they're flex heads. And they're not really 12 points, but they're not 6 points either. But they're supposed to be really good at gripping stuff. So we're gonna try them out. It's not that you have a lot of leverage on something, but sometimes we need stubbies and flex heads just to get in on something. And this was only like $44-ish, I think. So they're not a sponsor or anything. I just ordered them on there and thought, I'm gonna try them out. Let's see how they work out. I'll give you an update in the future. Bending the little tabs out of the way that lock onto that big nut. The other side was very loose, so we're hoping this side is tighter. The other side was only like 10 foot-pounds, I think. That one was definitely a little tighter. These axles have the nut, and then they have the big washer with a whole bunch of tabs on it, which are nice. They're a little easier to bend than some of the others. And then the ring with the holes. And then now the preload. That's how it was set.
Can't turn
Can't move it at all.
Can't loosen
Hopefully with just the socket in your hand you can do it.
it. Yeah.
Kind of snug. Looks pretty shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll clean it and do a closer inspection, but initially it looks pretty good. A couple little marks through there, but this shock needs to be replaced, but that's gonna be fun to get out of there. You don't have a whole lot of clearance there to get that nut off, and then to work the shock off of the nut and get that's gonna be quite fun. Okay, so that's bad, as you saw. We can't get that replaced. There used to be a rebuild kit for it. It's not available. They don't have the parts available. They've changed to a new design. So when you change that, because this has that step down type thing too, you have to change the whole drag link arm, everything, and the end. So that has to be changed. And if you change that, according to the book, now you have to change the tie rod ends as well. The whole bar, the tie rod itself, and the ends have to be changed to a different style for clearances. So everything in the front end up here has to be replaced just because that's bad and no longer available. This is a design and a style that they apparently haven't used for a while. Okay, well, day one on this, we got into it pretty far. We've already had to order about $5,000 worth of parts, and he's probably looking maybe $10,000 in labor just where he's at right now with what we got to put back together. So quite a bit of work just for the first day.